There's a new snag tonight in plans to tear down Duluth's Wabasha bookstore. You'll find out the very latest in the battle over that bookstore.
We'll have a News 6 follow-up tonight on the tower building fire investigation and breaking news in the Northwest Airlines strike. Word of a settlement. The strike is over. We'll have details. Good evening, everyone. I'm Michelle Lee.
And I'm Dave Jensch. The Northwest Airlines pilot strike is now over.
Company leaders say a tentative settlement was reached, and of course we just heard the president thanking all parties involved in helping to settle this labor issue that has really stopped travel to many communities here in the Midwest and of course the Northland.
A piece of business important enough to bring the president live outside of the White House despite his other problems, the beleaguered presidency, talking Northwest Airlines and obviously talking business, trying to get back to the business of running the government. Now there is a news conference about to begin in the Twin Cities, and we're hoping to get to that with full details, which will have Northwest officials momentarily. We'll get back to that in a minute, and of course we'll be keeping track of this Northwest development as the evening wears on. Obviously people are going to want to know when the flights will resume. Now, on to our other top story tonight. There is a new complication in the demolition of the Wabasha bookstore.
A St. Louis County judge has just granted a temporary restraining order to the owner of the Wabasha bookstore building.
As Kim Kaiser reports, that order could slow down or even stop the demolition of the store.
The Wabasha bookstore lost a chunk of stone Wednesday as city officials took a ceremonial swipe at the building. Building developers hope to tear down the rest of the building in a couple of weeks to make way for the construction on the Duluth Technology Village. But a temporary restraining order granted to the building owner, Eric Ringsred, will stop the threat of demolition for a short time. A hearing for the injunction is set for 9 a.m. September 16th. Meanwhile, the Dirty Bookstore is already setting up its new site. This is the new site for the Wabasha bookstore. Workers have been inside since 8 o'clock this morning, laying down carpet and getting the place ready. An employee that I spoke with, who wouldn't give me his name, says they hope to have it open for business by Friday. But there's a threat of a lawsuit from a business owner across the street from the new location. Dwayne Torfin of Viking Micrographics has complained about the building for a while.
The Wabasha just doesn't belong in a neighborhood that has a gospel mission, that has a school. The Native American school is only a block and a half away.
He's also concerned that the location of the store violates an ordinance that requires adult bookstores to be 400 feet away from pedestrian plazas. But Mayor Gary Doty says city attorneys have approved the location.
I would prefer that the Wabasha bookstore be no place in our community, that we not have it. I don't like the kind of material that they distribute. The fact is that legally they have a right to exist.
In Duluth, Kim Kaiser, News 6.
City leaders are planning to have the Technology Village built on the space occupied by the old Wabasha building. Today, a Twin Cities company is joining the list of future tenants for this Technology Village. Bravura Consulting Services will be bringing at least a dozen high-paying jobs. Company officials met with Mayor Gary Doty to announce their plans. Bravura's president says the company's been gaining more clients and employees from this area, prompting the office expansion here.
The progress we've had so far has convinced us that this marketplace is going to be a really good area for us. The companies here are just exactly the target kind of companies that we try to find in the Twin Cities and the rest of the Midwest.
Right now, Bravura has 4 employees operating out of their homes in Duluth.
In the Crime Watch tonight, a drug bust on the Iron Range. A 32-year-old tower man is behind bars after officers discovered a marijuana operation in his garage on Wednesday. Investigators seized more than 100 high-grade marijuana plants. The estimated street value is about $60,000. In Aiken County, meanwhile, deputies there have arrested a 34-year-old armed robbery suspect. That happened this morning. The man was wanted by the Cottage Grove Police Department. Investigators say he fled to a cabin in Fleming Township after the armed robbery of a charitable gambling booth in a Cottage Grove bar.
Now, a News 6 follow-up on the tower building fire. Superior Fire Investigator Don Piper says the blaze doesn't appear to be connected to the suspicious fires in the North End. He says there has been no evidence of arson, but it's not being ruled out. This week, demolition crews are hauling away the remains of the tower building. Damages are adding up to well over $1 million.
Well, the food is flying tonight at Bayfront Park. Flying out of kettles, that is. We're talking about chili and very hot chili. The United Way of Greater Duluth Chili Cook-Off. Kickoff is underway.
Well, it is. And just take a guess who's down there. He's not sitting next to us here. George, he ran down there as quickly as he could.
Well, I'll tell you, David, we're getting lots of help from everybody down here, KBJR employees and other. But two of our, see, I come down to this thing every year. I love the chili cook-off. And what I usually do is I bring down the new employees to the station and attempt to torment them, see, because they have those sensitive palates. And so the two that we have to bring along were Mark Mallory and Keith Marler. They were the new guys out this year. So what do you guys think? What's the impression so far?
It's simply fantastic. We've had a wonderful time, and Keith and I have been slaving for hours over serving chili. And then George says, well, I'm going to stop by a little later. So you haven't even showed up yet. You put in your cameo appearance, you scoop a bowl of chili, and then you move on and you took off. Weather.
See, this is the thing. I get the grief. It's called management, folks. Anyway, here. Now let me ask, because you guys are the sensitive ones. You have the tender palates near here. How is the heat of this chili?
It's about as hot as it is inside here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I broke into a sweat. It's so warm in here, and the chili is just as hot and spicy. But if you don't like it hot and spicy, there's other places to go and find some chili.
Absolutely. Listen, guys, I appreciate it. I will be helping them out in the stand. We'll have your complete weather forecast in just a couple of minutes.
Okay, George, don't forget, you do have the weather to do in a couple of minutes, so stay away from the hot chili.
Well, coming up next, it's time to tie up the strings, adjust the wheels, and hit the pavement.
Preparations are underway for the North Shore Inline Skating Marathon. When we return, we'll take a look at the racers and merchants who are getting ready for the big day.
Keeping you in touch with today's news with Michelle Lee, Dave Jensch, meteorologist George Kessler, and Tom Hansen Sports. You're watching News 6 at 6.
George's Garden is built and maintained by the London Road Garden Center. For more information, log on to our website at www.kbjr.com.
Coming up tonight on News 6 at 10.
The whole left side of my face was covered with blood.
Becoming a crime victim can be devastating, but many say it's just the beginning of their victimization. A special I-Team 6 investigation as Barbara Routes takes a look at what many say is a major flaw in our justice system.
35 minutes of news, weather, and sports tonight on News 6 at 10.
This is Imagine TV.
It's time for the Mercury Challenge, where we've been challenged to sell 2,000 Mercuries with great deals. Get 0.9% APR financing and $750 cash back on the stylish Mercury Sable, 0.9% APR on Mercury Mystique or on Mercury Tracer. Plus, get a lease of just $249 a month for 33 months on the all-new front-wheel drive 99 Mercury Cougar. Hurry in for your chance to win a Cougar or other Mercuries. The Mercury Challenge, only at your Mercury dealer.
Till next time, imagine yourself in a Mercury.
You see this? All types of people here at Grandma's Sports Garden. It's kind of like a town square. It's where former rivals can enjoy a gourmet pizza margarita and talk about the good old days. Where pedestrians and skateboarders put issues aside for delicious sandwiches. Where environmentalists and loggers make peace over fresh salads on a thin crust pizza. My point is, with delicious Grandma's food, the possibilities are endless. Grandma's Sports Garden Bar and Grill, bringing people together.
Are you ready?
It's coming!
NBC Premiere Week. In 2 weeks, your favorite NBC shows are back.
All your questions will be answered.
Is there going to be a wedding on Friends?
Find out during Premiere Week. Frasier has a new night. And
Just Shoot Me's moving to Tuesday.
But wait, there's more!
Meet the next generation of must-see TV. ER's back, all new. And Monday nights are really heating up.
NBC Premiere Week.
In 2 weeks.
The silence is over, and the time is now to make a great deal during the Silent Salesperson Sale at Campus Erickson in Superior through Saturday. Discounts up to $5,000. No payments for 90 days OAC. 1.9% special financing on certain models. Give the Campus sales team your desired stock number, present your trade, and we'll arrange your financing. It's that easy. Hurry, the savings won't last. Prices return to normal Monday, September 14th. So get over to Campus Erickson, your friends in the car business.
George Kessler's weather is certified by the American Meteorological Society. Today's weather is brought to you by Cellular One.
It's a hot time on the Old Town tonight. The chili is hot, the air is hot. and the crowd is restless. It's actually been a good time down here at the Chili Cook-Off. I invite everyone to come on in. There's just a suggested donation at the door, but if things are a little tight, that's all right. You can just come on in, bring the family down. This is United Way's way of saying thank you. But I also want to say thank you myself because I get to meet some great people. Had one young lady come on down. She brought her own 5-day forecast. Now, 5-day forecast is not required for admission, but I just love some of these things. You can't see it there, but she has Bethton, Duluth, and then Celia Falls. Poor Celia, apparently balance may be an issue there. Let's talk a little bit about our own weather. Temperatures have been extraordinarily warm across the region. 81 degrees right now is far and above where we should be. Winds out of the west at 12. Relative humidity is 44%. The wider view of the region, 93 degrees, a common number down to our south and to our west. 93 Grand Forks, 93 Fargo, 93 in Marshall. I know it's hidden there a little bit, but it's 100 over in Pierce, South Dakota. Now, some of that heat is going to make it in our direction, but not all of it. Take a look at the national map. 100 is that pocket of them is centered right there on the Missouri River, a little bit in North Dakota, but mostly South Dakota, seeing the hottest temperatures in the entire country. Meanwhile, up to the north and east, our cool air of earlier this week is now bottled up in areas just there northeastern Quebec. Meanwhile, down to the south, it is actually warmer in South Dakota than it is in South Florida. Let's talk about the wide view. We have two big features that we're going to bring to you. The one is that huge dome of high pressure that is just dominating the eastern two-thirds of the country. The second feature, pretty obvious down there in the Gulf of Mexico, that's Tropical Storm Francis. Over the last couple of days, I've been saying rather insulting things about Francis. Francis is a slob, Francis is a slacker, it doesn't have its act together, all those other disparaging comments. Well, Francis may make me eat those as those winds increase down in the Gulf of Mexico. We could be talking about a more serious storm than was originally believed. Out to the west, the streak of clouds coming up through Montana, part of a frontal system that's going to be limping through the region over the next 24 hours. All right, here's Francis, deserves its time in the spotlight, zipping through the Gulf of Mexico. It is now getting closer to the Texas coast. That's good news because the winds are now up to 60 miles an hour. Once it makes landfall, then the winds will really fall away. And in reality, the biggest story with Francis has been the torrential rains, not so much the winds. Most homes can take a 60-mile-an-hour wind, which is the peak with this system right now. Here's the radar in motion. Lots of dark yellow, or lots of dark blue, lots of yellow. A very, very heavy rain stretches from the panhandle of Florida down through southern Texas. Some spots are better at dealing with rain than others. And in South Texas, not traditionally an area that sees a whole bunch of rainfall, so we'll be hearing about flooding from that part of the world. Closer to home, thunderstorms are a minimal threat. You see one or two, and that's it. North of Bemidji on up there towards War Road and Halleck. At this point, no reports really even of any thunder, just a few raindrops coming down, making splats on the windshield. Here's your forecast map. There goes that front through the region tonight. It'll help to sweep out these warm temperatures. Once it's by, the air that takes over is not going to be stunningly cold, but it will be of the cooler Pacific variety. I put a couple of storms on the map mostly because I like watching little lightning things come down, not because I think it's going to be a widespread problem. Friday, the front is by. Let's go to Saturday when the high pressure takes over. As it moves to the east, the winds will come down the lake, and that is going to help to knock temperatures down a peg across the entire region. Here it is in a forecast for tonight, an isolated shower or storm. It is going to stay mild, upper 50s to lower 60s. For tomorrow, not as warm as it was today, which is fine by most people. Highs in the middle to upper 70s. They'll be falling off somewhat during the afternoon. And going forward to Saturday, chilling out. Highs only around 70 degrees. It's going to feel like fall again. Quick peek at the 5-day. There we go. Sunday, a chance of one last scatter storm, then more high pressure for Monday and Tuesday. David and Michelle, that's the story from the chili cook-off. Hopefully not too much trauma is going on behind me from this 5-alarm chili that Pat Wilmers has been serving out in the name of KBJR.
Thanks, George.
Oh,
While George is having fun, there is serious news, and in case you're just joining us, we wanted to let you know that the Northwest Airlines pilot strike is over.
An agreement was reached late this afternoon. President Clinton said the details still need to be worked out. Northwest officials are planning to make a formal announcement yet this evening. We will bring you the details when they become available. Again, a settlement in the Northwest Airlines strike. No word yet on when planes will be back in service. Now on to other news. Thousands are strapping on gear and checking their wheels to make sure they're ready for the North Shore Inline Marathon.
With only a few short days left until race day, local businesses are being bombarded with customers.
Jody Grayson shows us how racers and merchants are preparing for race day.
Today, the race course is empty. But next Saturday, this 26.2-mile stretch from Two Harbors to Duluth will be filled with over 2,500 marathoners. As the countdown to race day continues, both organizers and racers are scrambling to finish last-minute details.
And the race package primarily right now, we're also trying to work on things like getting cars from Benaford that our staff will be using for the race, fielding telephone calls that never seems to end, people that can't make it because of the airstrike, people that still want to get in at this late date.
Right now, 2,440 people have signed up for the marathon, and that number will continue to climb until race day. Whether young or old, experienced or not, you still have time to sign up for the race. Just last night, Fran Bussey decided he wanted to do the marathon. This will be his first race.
I've done it probably, 5 or 6 times, but I mean, how hard can it be? If you know how to skate on ice, I'm sure you can skate on streets, so.
Racers are coming to stores like this to pick up some last-minute items before the race actually gets here. All marathoners are required to wear protective gear, like a wrist guard and a helmet.
While they're buying wheels, they're trying to upgrade their bearings and going a little bit faster and putting on hop-up kits, which makes them a little faster, and going for instance, from ABIC 3s to ABIC 5s, so they'll go a little bit faster. The whole idea is to go a little bit faster, make the race a little bit easier for themselves.
In just a few short days, Duluth will be packed with marathoners from all over the world. Marathoners who will be looking for exercise, some friendly competition, or maybe even the title of Inline Marathon Champion. In Duluth, Jody Grayson, News 6.
If you are planning on racing in Saturday's marathon, you have until tomorrow night to register.
Looks like fun, Tom. Hey, and there'll be a special kids race, right?
And the best part of it, it's free.
Yeah, all kids invited to come to William A. Irvin, 5 o'clock tomorrow. They're going to be racing back and forth, having a lot of fun. Coming up in sports, we'll have details on the new fall high school hockey league that's about to get started, and talk to Coach Mo about the Bulldogs football season opener. Those stories and more when we come back.
How many phones do you use in a day? Simplify your life with one phone, the premier digital service from Cellular One. At work, at home, and all along the way, one phone is the simple wireless solution. Advanced features make one phone more versatile than hardwired phones and more affordable than ever. Around the clock and across the Northland, count on one phone to simplify your life. Call Cellular One now.
Duluth Lawn and Sport, your power sports specialist, has the Polaris Sportsman choice for you. Purchase a new 98 Polaris Sportsman 500 ATV by October 31st, and we'll give you a coupon for a 12-gauge Remington shotgun or a Remington 30-06 rifle. If you purchase any other Polaris ATV, a Remington 597 rifle is yours, or consider one of these options. $250 in free accessories, or 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 90 days on approved credit. See the power sports specialist, Duluth Lawn and Sport, 4715 Grand Avenue.
Get ready for the hottest racing action of the season as the Superior Speedway brings you the Miller Lite Northern Nationals. Friday and Saturday, September 11th and 12th, see the best in stock car racing. Friday, September 11th, see the Wissota Sprints, the Super and Street Stock Car Division. Then on Saturday, September 12th, watch the track tear up with late models, modifieds, and street stock. It's the hottest family fun racing action of the season, and is right here in the Northland at the Superior Speedway, located at the Head of the Lakes Fairground in Superior.
For the best selection, the best prices, the best service, and the best trade-in allowances, nobody does it better than Eggebrecht Chevrolet. The temperatures may be falling, but the prices are heating up on the best lease vehicles in the area. Lease a brand new 99 Geo Prism for just $199 a month. Or how about this 98 CK Extended Camp pickup just in time for the fall hunting season. Lease it for just $259 a month.
At the dealership you can trust, Eggebrecht Chevrolet, where you, the customer, are always number one.
And now, sports with Tom Hansen. Today's sports are brought to you by RJ Sport and Cycle.
Minnesota high school hockey players now have another outlet to improve their game while staying at home and in school. This weekend, a 10-team fall hockey league will open across the state. Now, readers of the Up North newspaper network will be reading about it in upcoming sports editions, but the program will kick off locally here Saturday as the Duluth team faces an Iron Range team in Hoyt Lakes. The Duluth team will be co-managed and coached by Pat Fairchild and by Dan Stauber. John Gilbert is covering the story for the Up North Newspaper Network.
Key here that everybody has to focus on is that this is a way to keep the kids in Minnesota. And you know, if people keep skimming off the cream of the crop, if they do it right, they could destroy high school hockey as an entity. And pretty soon they'd have to go somewhere else looking for players. So I think people have to focus on how good high school hockey is and the benefits of it, and that's what this program will do. Play a 12-game schedule just on weekends, 60-minute stop time games, so 20-minute periods. So adding 12 games onto the high school season with high-intensity practices designed by Herb Brooks and Jack Blatherwick, the whole attempt is to keep the kids from leaving the high school program. And this is only for kids who are playing high school hockey.
John Gilbert will have more in upcoming editions in the Up North Newspaper Network. Now, Duluth's team is made up of players from East, Cloquet, Denfeld, Hermantown, Silver Bay, Marshall, and Two Harbors. For more on the story, check your local Up North newspaper. We'll also have more on the Prep Fall Hockey League on Saturday during News 6 at 6 or during News 6 at 10 on Saturday. Mark McGuire and the St. Louis Cardinals will be back in action tonight as they face Cincinnati, and McGuire will be in the lineup. He has 62 home runs with 17 more games to play. Last night he went 0 for 2 and left the game early as the Cards fell to the Reds 6-3. Former St. Paul Saint J.D. Drew homered in the 8th inning. It was his first major league hit. He started the year at Wade Stadium in Duluth when the Saints faced the Dukes. The UMD football team opened the season last Saturday with a 31-7 loss to Mankato State. The team plays Northern Michigan Saturday night in Marquette. Starting defensive end Juan Reyes is expected to see some action. He missed the opener with an injury. So did Jim Milosky Sr. He's a team consultant this year after suffering a stroke. He was in the press box for Saturday's game, marking the first time in 40 years that he wasn't on the UMD football sidelines. He said the interim co-head coaches Jim Milosky Jr. and Vince Repish did an outstanding job.
And they're doing a good job. I was very pleased with what they did. I thought they prepared them well. I wanted them to think different, to be frank with you, Tom. I thought the play selection in the first half by the offense and the defensive coordinators was excellent. They did all they could do.
In pro football, the Vikings will also take to the road to face St. Louis Sunday. Of course, that game right here on News 6 starting at noon. The Vikings realize that in order to win, they need to push aside their personal goals and focus on the bigger picture.
I don't think you can make any person happy on this team. You know, Roberts, he wants 25 carries. Jake Reed wants to catch 8 balls, Chris and Randy. But the whole goal is to win games, to put ourselves in a chance to win, get in the playoffs and move on from there. That's the only way we're going to keep guys happy is to win ball games.
Now, the Vikings will be up against a former player in the Minnesota Twins organization. Rams quarterback Tony Banks was a 10th-round draft pick for the Twins back in '91. The NFL starter says he couldn't get on the field in Class A Fort Myers because of injuries. The Green Bay Packers will be at home to face Tampa Bay this Sunday. Running back Dorsey Levens scored a touchdown last week after just a week of practice. He feels comfortable now that the contract matter is behind him.
I feel appreciated now, you know, that somebody actually recognized, you know, what I've done here in the past and possibly what I can do in the future. And as far as, you know, hopefully I can end my career as a Packer.
New baseball team will be coming to Duluth to face the Dukes next summer. The Schaumburg Flyers are the newest entry into the Northern League. Today they named their coach. Former Major Leaguer Ron Kittle will be their manager. He spent 10 years in the big leagues. The Flyers are building a new $12 million stadium. So, David, Michelle, it'll be nice to see a new team come into the Northern League a little bit, and also busy night tonight. We'll have on the prep scene, we'll have plenty of highlights tonight, News 6 at 10.
We'll be there.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
And when we come back, we're going to have more on the end to the Northwest Airlines pilot strike, so stay with us.
When we set out to build the world's best ATV, we chose our role model carefully. The new Big Bear and Big Bear 4x4 from Yamaha. 'Cause out here, bears rule.
See the huge selection of ATVs on sale now at RJ Sport and Cycle.
Everest. Experience the top of the world only at Duluth's Omnimax Theater.
When it comes to cars, it seems everyone's an expert in one thing.
Well, I'd like an oil change, a brake job, and some tires.
Sorry, we don't do brakes. Would you like some fries instead, maybe?
Go where the pros go. Fleet managers and professional drivers trust Arrowhead Equipment Certified Auto Service Center for all of their vehicle needs.
Spruce up your boat for the season. Choose quality Exide marine batteries from Arrowhead Equipment, where there's more for all your vehicles.
Chalk one up to experience. Bring your vehicle to Arrowhead Equipment on Truck Center Drive in Duluth.
Hey, got a minute?
I gotta cook.
You should get to Toyota's National Clearance Event this Labor Day weekend for great savings on Camry. Choose from this special $229 a month lease, or buy and get 4.8% financing on America's #1 selling car. Or take $750 customer cash, an incredible offer. Put it on your Labor Day menu. These special clearance offers end September 7th.
And now here's a recap of our top story. After 13 days, the Northwest Airlines strike is over.
Word of a settlement came late this afternoon. President Clinton said details of the agreement still need to be worked out. We're waiting for Northwest Airlines officials to make a formal announcement. Now, reached by News 6, Senator Rod Graham says it's good news for all Minnesotans and those who have come to depend upon Northwest Airlines. We'll keep you in touch with the latest developments tonight on News 6 at 10. And before we go, we should run back down to Bayfront one more time to see if George has a last look at tonight's forecast.
David, the last word from the chili cook-off. You know, if you're into numbers, this is the place to be. Now, I have two samples here of very different chilies. This first one that you can see, this has 15 beans. It's the 15-bean chili. And if that's not enough for you, then the one I have next to it is KBJR's very own, made by Pat Wilmers. It's the 8-pepper, 5-pepper chili. So this is Pat's personal specialty. Both of them guaranteed to put you in the hospital with raptures of gastronomical delight. There, I'm digging around for a word. Hey, the weather's going to be delightful tonight, too, so head on down here. We're in Bayfront Park. Join the fun. It's a chili cook-off. Any donations go to a good cause. And with temperatures around 60 degrees, as low as we can go, I think there'll be smiles all around, although I do expect it's going to be somewhat cooler tomorrow. David and Michelle.
Well, finally tonight, a local restaurant's getting recognition down in the Twin Cities this month.
Twin Cities Business Monthly magazine named Gordy's Hi-Hat in Cloquet the best pit stop on the way to northern Minnesota. Gordy's earned the honor with its famous burgers and fresh fruit shakes.
We've known that about Gordy's for years.
Okay, so a lot of things happening news-wise today. We have the end to the Northwest Airlines strike.
A major development right now. There's a news conference that has been scheduled to happen and has been about to go on for about the last 30 minutes down in the Twin Cities, and we will certainly keep track of that. It'll happen yet this evening sometime. We're expecting to hear from Northwest Airlines officials on specific details like when the planes are going to fly. We do know that the mechanics have been ordered to stop mothballing planes, so they're ready to get them back out.
Some very good news. We're going to keep you in touch with 35 minutes of news, weather, and sports tonight on News 6 at 10.
See you then.
Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men, located in the heart of downtown Duluth.